And if you're married or you're divorced or you're older than 30 years old, clearly you're getting a lot out of it. Why would a celebrity want to marry you who is a divorcee with a child and you're in your 30s?
So let me see if I understood this, okay? A Muslim woman divorced in her 30s, has a child, gets into, let's say, some kind of misyar marriage with a celebrity Muslim guy. We don't need to give his name, just a celebrity Muslim guy. And it doesn't work out. What is the reaction to that, basically? What is the big deal? She should be grateful someone even looked at her twice.
But no, you're divorced. And this women hate to acknowledge this reality, but it's true. You are divorced, you're in your 30s, and it doesn't matter what other qualities that you have. Like, this is a fact. So his marriage ability or his value on the marriage marketplace is much, much higher than yours. That's a fact. He agrees to marry you, and it doesn't work out. Where's the scandal? Where is the terrible crime that has been committed?
Islam is very brave. Islam is very brave. Islam successfully turns women into expired produce on a marriage shelf. And the moment they are past the halal refreshness date, they are considered damaged goods. And apparently we are supposed to not criticize this. Why? Because there is no scandal there. There is no scandal there.
Okay, so you're not, if it were some like 16-year-old, 17-year-old virgin, that's a different situation, or that's something where your marriageability or your marital value on the marriage marketplace is much higher if you're a 17-year-old, 18-year-old, 19-year-old virgin. This is your first marriage.
According to Daniel Hakukatchi, woman's value is in marriage marketplace, that's what it is the highest when she's 16 or 17 years old virgin. Because of course it is. You might be thinking, well, you are so grateful that he didn't say 4 years old, 6 years old, or 9 years old. He went for 16 or 17 years old virgin. That's basically the Quran's dream girl, right? Just old enough to cook, young enough to not talk back, and of course, not experienced enough to ask questions. Perfect for a prophet who married 6 years old child.
Clearly, you're getting a lot out of it. Why would a celebrity want to marry you who is a divorcee with a child and you're in your 30s?
But a divorced woman in her 30s? So no. That's Clarence Bean material. Why would even celebrity want her, he asks. Well, maybe because she is human being, she has a brain and soul. Well, apparently that's not the criteria for Islam at all. Nope, that's not the Islamic system. She is low value asset. Why? Because apparently in Islam, women aren't image bearer of God. They are second-hand goods on ticking clock, disposable products with a shelf life, damaged goods with no resale value, or wear and tear stocks in Islamic marketplace. That's how Islam looks at the woman. If you are divorced with a child, that's what you are, a declining investment in a halal dating economy. And then, of course, what we have? We get a defense for misyar marriage. Oh, yeah, misyar.
And say, okay, fine. There was a marriage. There was a marriage. It was clearly a misyar marriage. It was some kind of misyar marriage. You agreed to be a second wife.
Islam's favorite legal hack to turn lust into spiritual loophole. No provision, no long-term commitment, just enough marriage paperwork to avoid charges for zina. Yeah. So The man gets what he wants, temporary sex, religiously approved, stamped, and when he's done, poof, he just disappears. And the woman, she's just left wondering why the marriage meant nothing. But according to Daniel Hakukochu, there is no scandal here. Why? Because she was already low value. It's her fault for having lived a life. So what does that mean? She should have known her place. After all, she's not virgin teenager. She's used goods. Yep. Are you disgusted yet? Because you should be. But let me say something very clear. This has nothing to do with the morality. This has nothing to do with godly lifestyle. This has everything to do with man-made religion built to serve the sexual desire of man under the banner of Allah knows best. Yeah. You know what Bible teaches about marriage? Husbands, love your wife as Christ loved the church. Christ died for his bride. He didn't rent her for the weekend. He didn't offer her sex in a hotel secretly. He died for his bride. What is the difference? Marriage is a covenant in Christianity, not a contract with the backdoor clause. In Christianity, woman's value is in her word to God, not a status on marital stock exchange. I am loved and valued by the King of Kings, Lord of Lords. Doesn't matter I am single or I am married. Eternal Son of the Father gave himself for me, whether I am married or I am single. You know something else? Jesus didn't shame the woman for their past. What did he do? He redeemed them. The Samaritan woman at the well with 5 husbands. Jesus gave her living water. A woman who caught in adultery, Jesus said, neither do I condemn you. Sinful woman who washed the feet of Jesus with her tears, Jesus called her forgiven. Meantime, what Muhammad was doing? Muhammad was going around and collecting wives, marrying children, and handing out verses from Allah to justify all this. So listen this very carefully, Muslims. Listen this very carefully. If your prophet and religion is teaching you that women lose their value as they get older, that they are only worthy of marriage when they are untouched and silent, and that they can be temporarily married off and then tossed aside, how can you possibly call this divine? Seriously? And to the rest. If you are still kind of thinking why we are talking about this and why this is such a scandal, it is because someone has to stand up for the voiceless. Someone has to stand up for the shamed, and someone has to stand up for the truth. And clearly, Islam, Muslim sheikhs, Muslim YouTubers, Muslim dawah figures won't do it. Then the gospel of Lord Jesus Christ will. Why? Because Jesus doesn't throw people away. Jesus saves them and redeems them.